You know, as we get older, we start paying more attention to our health, what we eat, how we move, and even the little aches and pains that seem to pop up out of nowhere. But here's something that might surprise you. Some of the everyday foods we've been eating for years could actually be weakening our bones, especially after 70. And the tricky part? We might not even realize it's happening until we feel that extra stiffness or notice we're not as steady on our feet as we used to be. Now, I'm not here to scare you. Far from it. The good news is, once we know what to look out for, we can make simple changes that keep our bones strong and sturdy for years to come. So today, let's talk about some common food items that might be quietly affecting your bone health and what you can do about it. First up, let's talk about something many of us enjoy every day: salt. Now, a little salt is fine, but here's the thing. As we age, our kidneys don't process sodium as efficiently as they once did. And when we eat too much salt, our bodies end up flushing out not just sodium, but also calcium. Yes, the very mineral our bones need to stay strong. Think about it. Every time you reach for that bag of chips or add extra soy sauce to your meal, you might be losing a little bit of the calcium that's supposed to be supporting your bones. Now, I'm not saying you should never enjoy salty foods again. Life's too short for that. But small swaps can make a big difference. Try using herbs and spices to flavor your food instead of salt, or choose low-sodium versions of your favorite soups and snacks. Your bones will thank you. Next, let's talk about soda, especially colas. This one might sting a little if you're a fan of that fizzy, refreshing taste. But here's the problem. Many sodas contain phosphoric acid, which can interfere with calcium absorption. Over time, drinking too much soda can lead to weaker bones because your body isn't getting the calcium it needs to maintain strength. And even diet or caffeine-free versions can have the same effect. Now, if you love your soda, don't worry. You don't have to give it up completely. But maybe try swapping it out for sparkling water with a splash of fruit juice, or herbal tea if you're looking for something with flavor. Your bones will stay stronger, and you might even find you have a little more energy without all that sugar. And finally, let's talk about caffeine. That morning cup of coffee. It's a ritual for so many of us, right? But just like salt, too much caffeine can cause your body to lose calcium. And when you're drinking multiple cups a day, that loss can add up over time. Now, I'm not saying you need to quit coffee cold turkey. Believe me, I'd never suggest that. But if you're having 3 or 4 cups a day, maybe try cutting back to 1 or 2, and pair it with a calcium-rich snack like yogurt or a handful of almonds. That way, you still get your caffeine fix while giving your bones the support they need. So, we've covered salt, soda, and caffeine. 3 everyday things that might be affecting your bone health without you even realizing it. But here's the important part. Small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just being aware of these sneaky bone weakeners is the first step. Now, let's keep going and talk about a few more foods that might be hiding in your pantry. Ones you'd never suspect could be impacting your bones. Because when it comes to staying strong and active as we age, knowledge really is power. You know, sometimes the foods we think are good for us can have hidden effects we never see coming. Take whole grains, for example. Now, don't get me wrong. Whole grains are packed with fiber and nutrients that are great for digestion and heart health. But here's the catch. They also contain something called phytic acid, which can bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium in your gut, making it harder for your body to absorb them. Now, that doesn't mean you should swear off whole wheat bread or oatmeal entirely. They're still part of a balanced diet. But if you're eating a lot of whole grains and not enough calcium-rich foods to balance it out, your bones might be missing out. The trick? Pair them with foods that boost calcium absorption, like a glass of milk with your oatmeal or some cheese on whole grain crackers. That way, you get the best of both worlds, fiber for your digestion and strong bones. Now, let's talk about something that might really surprise you. Too much protein. Wait, protein? Isn't that supposed to be good for us? Well, yes, protein is essential for muscle strength, healing, and overall health. But here's the thing. When we eat excessive amounts of animal protein, especially red meat, our bodies produce more acid, and to balance that out, they pull calcium from our bones. Over time, that can weaken them. Now, I'm not saying you should give up your Sunday roast or that grilled chicken you love. But if meat is the star of every meal, try mixing in some plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, or tofu a few times a week. Not only are they easier on your bones, but they're also packed with other nutrients that keep you feeling your best. And while we're on the topic of surprises, let's talk about alcohol. Now, a glass of wine with dinner or a cold beer on a hot day isn't going to ruin your bones. But drinking too much, even just a couple of drinks every night, can interfere with calcium absorption and slow down the cells that build new bone. Plus, alcohol can make you a little unsteady on your feet, and we all know how important it is to avoid falls as we get older. So, if you enjoy a drink now and then, there's no need to give it up completely. But try keeping it to just one a day, and make sure you're balancing it with plenty of water and bone-friendly foods. Your skeleton will thank you. Now, I know this might feel like a lot to take in, foods we've enjoyed for years suddenly seeming like they're working against us. But here's the good news. Just being aware of these little pitfalls means you're already ahead of the game. And the best part? You don't have to cut these foods out entirely. Just enjoy them in moderation while making sure your diet is full of bone-boosting alternatives. Speaking of which, let's talk about some of those good foods, the ones that actually strengthen your bones and help undo any damage these sneaky culprits might be causing. Because when it comes to staying strong after 70, what you add to your plate is just as important as what you limit. Now, after all this talk about foods that might be quietly weakening our bones, let's focus on the good stuff, the delicious, nutrient-packed foods that actually strengthen them. Because here's the truth. Our bodies are incredible at healing and rebuilding, especially when we give them the right tools. And the best part? Many of these bone-friendly foods are probably already in your kitchen. First up, leafy greens. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Not another lecture about eating my greens. But hear me out. Dark, leafy greens like kale, spinach, and collard greens are loaded with calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K, all of which are like a repair crew for your bones. Vitamin K, especially, helps your body use calcium properly instead of letting it just pass through. Now, if you're not a fan of salads, no worries. You can sneak these greens into soups, stir-fries, or even smoothies. A handful of spinach in your morning smoothie? You won't even taste it, but your bones will feel the difference. Next, let's talk about dairy, or dairy alternatives if you don't do well with milk. Yogurt, cheese, and kefir are fantastic sources of calcium and vitamin D, which work together like a perfect team to keep bones dense and strong. And if dairy isn't your thing, fortified almond milk, soy milk, or even canned salmon with the bones. Yes, the soft bones are edible and packed with calcium, are great options. And here's a fun one, prunes. Yes, prunes. These little dried plums might be best known for keeping things moving, but studies show they also help slow bone loss, especially in women after menopause. Just a handful a day can make a difference. Try them chopped up in oatmeal or blended into a smoothie for a sweet, bone-boosting treat. Now, let's not forget nuts and seeds, especially almonds, chia seeds, and flax seeds. They're rich in magnesium and healthy fats, which help your body hold on to calcium instead of flushing it away. A small handful as a snack or sprinkled over yogurt is an easy way to give your bones a little extra love. And finally, movement. I know this isn't a food, but it's just as important. Bones stay strong when we use them. Walking, gentle weightlifting, even gardening or dancing. Anything that gets you moving helps your bones hold on to their strength. Think of it like this. Every step you take is a signal to your body saying, "Hey, I still need these bones. Keep them sturdy for me." So, let's bring it all together. We've talked about foods that might be weakening your bones, like too much salt, soda, caffeine, and alcohol, and how to enjoy them in moderation. We've also covered the powerhouse foods that actively strengthen your bones, like leafy greens, dairy, or alternatives, prunes, nuts, and seeds. And we've remembered the magic of staying active. But here's the most important thing. You don't have to be perfect. Small changes add up. Maybe today you swap one soda for herbal tea, or add a handful of spinach to your dinner. Maybe next week, you try a new calcium-rich snack or take a short walk in the sunshine for some vitamin D. Every little bit helps. And remember, you're not alone in this. Plenty of folks your age are making these same adjustments, learning as they go, and feeling better because of it. So why not share your own tips in the comments? What's your favorite bone-healthy food or activity? Let's help each other out. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, hit that button so you don't miss more tips like these. Because here's the truth. Age is just a number, but strength? That's something we can build at any stage of life. So here's to strong bones, good food, and enjoying every year ahead with energy and joy. Thanks for watching. Now go treat those bones right.